Well, alright guys, welcome back to another episode. Today is another Arrowverss recap, and this is my 5th one, so if you haven't seen the first 4, I suggest you go through that. And so, if you don't know what I'm doing, go watch the first 3. First 3 I told you all what's happening. In this one, I'm just getting here straight to the point. So, here we go. And to start off the week on Monday, we got Supergirl. Episode name, Damage. And so, here, in this episode, it was something that took place in the season 2 finale, where to stop the Earth from this girl from destroying the Earth last year, they used this machine which stopped this tech that destroyed it from LexCorp. And so, this whole thing is themed, and people get diseases, and they get lead poisoning in their bodies. And so one of Sam's friends gets intoxicated, and that's what makes it all come full circle, and how Sam and Supergirl are working together. And so when Sam and Supergirl are walking around trying to figure out what this is, they figure out that it's a pool filled with lead poisoning, and the kids love pools. And during that whole session when they talked, they both got adopted. So they're making this story even more like the comics. Now that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to be me going into the comics and going into the comics. And going into the comics, you have to come out with well, you kind of don't have to like take bad guys from their comic. You don't have to take stories from their comics, but you have to have the origin story and everything kind of like it. But you don't have to have the stories kind of like resembled in it. Because they're changing someone that I'll get to later. Lead poisoning, the Cobra effect. So, you'll figure out what the Cobra effect is. So, here's what the Cobra effect is, from what I got out of it. So, the Cobra effect, what it is that people got calls from these people, these army people got calls, and they were like, oh yeah, we took out these snakes, and they leave, and then there's snakes in their truck. So if you go there, it'll lead on to even more problems. And so, yeah. Also, on the other side of the story, Alex and Maggie are breaking up. Now, I didn't want to see this happen because I wanted 3 marriages to happen in the crossover. How did the 3 marriages to happen in the crossover? Now, we still have episodes 6 and 7 to cross off our lists of awesomeness. And so, yeah. So yeah, sorry about last week. Also, just throwing that out there. And the main threat for this is Morgan Edge. Well, that's his company. And so he worked for this other company that did all this lead poisoning. And so he was going to send it on a plane and blow it up and kill everyone. And hurt everyone. And so, and the quote of the day comes from Morgan saying, Supergirl may have pressed the button, but it's all Lex tech. There you go. So yeah, there you go. Now, alright, we're moving on to The Flash. This episode was called Girls' Night Out. So basically, as you can see by the title, it's focusing more on the girls' side of the story. And so the threat of this episode is Amunet Black. And so this weird eye guy comes to their bachelorette party and attacks them, and it's because this guy is working for Amunet. And so Killer Frost, or Caitlin, used to work for Amunet, and so that's why this whole episode is rolling with Amunet and Girls' Night Out, because there are certain things that roll into some things. And so Amunet is selling a love drug. And the way she's getting this love drug is from the Weeper. So there's a thing that they're changing from the comics. The Weeper would go to people and tell them a sad story, and once they left, he would rob them. And so that's a thing that's changing. That's a thing that they changed. Now his eye lets off the drug because when he gets hurt, he cries and he gives them the drug, and if they smell it, they get power. And so what Amunet's power is that she can control metal, and she can make things with the metal that she has. And Killer Frost, like I've said all this whole time, in Iron versus Flesh, which is a line from the episode, but I didn't write it down as a quote of the week. Yeah, and so for the quote, and so the boys, they just go to the bachelor party, and Ralph Dimony says, "Hey, would you guys like to do something better than just sit here and watch a movie?" And then they go to a strip club, and then they have a party, and then they eventually get kicked out and go to jail. And then Harry comes and breaks him out. And so I try to keep this as much spoilery in my first one, but now, hey, letting out all the spoilers. Yeah. And so they get caught. And so, actually, I'll keep you guys to watch the episode, figure out what the Weeper does next. So they help the Weeper, they save the Weeper, and they stop Amunet with the big magnet thing. And you get to see Frost a lot in this episode. And Incredible Hulk. And the quote is Felicity saying to the girls, and Cecile said, "Do I hear a reunion or something coming?" And Felicity says, "Last time I tried to get married, Oliver got shot with an arrow." Yeah, a little reference in there if you've seen. And they've been bringing a lot about Damien Dark back. And so, yeah, Damien Dark is coming back for like a lot of things. Because he got shot with an arrow when Damien Dark was in charge, I think. Okay, next is Legends of Tomorrow. Legends of Tomorrow. Called Return of the Mac, which Nathan says when he's chained up on a thing. And so now the timeline that they're in is London 1895. And so there's a new word that I have to teach you guys, and it's called outliers. It's something that the Time Bureau does to time, and is the cause of Mullis. And so Mullis is gathering people from time to make his team. And so, and this outlier is a vampire. It's just a guy with 2 needles to drain blood quicker to put it into a machine to bring someone back from the dead, which is Damien Dark. And so now here's just a little more things that I found interesting in the episode. They found his watch, and so they were like, Oliver touched it. But so is Oliver like a time traveler now? So between these 2 episodes, there's been crossovers with Arrow and stuff. So yeah, and Damien Dark returns, and that's what they try to prevent. And Mullis, which is the character that we just get introduced into this video, and that's why there's no real big threat in this episode. Oh yeah, let me just tell you one thing. Rip comes back after leaving, after the first episode. He comes back and wants to join the team again, and says, I love this, and I don't want to leave. But luckily at the end of the episode, the Time Bureau come back and tell him that you're fired. and stuff. And so he might come back. I don't know, but so Zari, she is all sad and bummed about her totem, and she just wants to use the time machine to bring her family back. And so this girl was like, I could talk to souls, let me just talk to your brother. And so I think Mullis is trying to use that totem for something, because the last two threats were trying to get that totem. Not the alien admiration, but the water warrior was trying to get that and the totem too. And so one time she says it's not a gift, it's a reminder of me losing my brother. And so Mullis he picked this girl because so she could change the role and be like, oh, I am your brother and I know everything that happened because I lived throughout time. And so yeah, Mullis is the big bad for this season. And so basically this episode was just introducing us to Mullis. And there's also a cool another thing that he did. That Rip did. A time bomb. It blew up so he could move throughout time without anything around him moving, only him. But then Damien Dark officially breaks out of it and takes him out. And time resumes. Okay, next. Dark. Because, like I said at the beginning, a watch was kind of introduced in this episode. So Dark, he says, after he comes out like a vampire, he says, who stole my watch? Just to be a little funny, because Legends of Tomorrow is supposed to be funny. And Arrow, for Arrow. Next we have Arrow. Still don't know how to say this stuff. And this episode is called Deathstroke Returns. The threat is Vigilante and the Jackal. A little bit too late for Halloween, but yeah. So the reason Deathstroke returns is that he wants Arrowverss help to go get his son, but he doesn't need the Green Arrow. He needs the mayor, because the mayor, if I could talk to these people, they'll give me what I want. But eventually the guy that he's talking to says he's dead, but hey, really he's not dead, and so Deathstroke says, maybe they weren't capable of what his father is. And there's backstories in this episode. And so on the other half, so on the other half, Diana gets Vigilante's identity revealed, and so it's her partner, and so Curtis later in the episode says, you mean partner or partner? Because partner, like, it was kind of the same, but it was both. And it was a gore bath at the end of the episode. Warren, she comes back and starts interviewing the whole team, because she's starting to figure that she's interrogating the whole team, and if she's interrogating the whole team, one of them has to give something up, and so that's her whole plan. And so Diana lets him go because partnership. And hey, here's the thing, he got shot in the eyeball. And so there was a guy that said, put your weapon down. Shot, hit him in the head, and bullet came out. He's bulletproof. Now how are they supposed to stop Vigilante? Is he bulletproof all around or only in his head? That's kind of a stupid power. If you're only bulletproof in your only in your head, that's kind of stupid. Boom. I'm drugged. What was drugged? Oh, okay. So, when Deathstroke went to go on his killing spree to take down the jackals, he didn't want Oliver to come, so he drank, and Oliver passed out. So he was drugged, and so he could go attack him. I helped you save. I think he says something about, I helped you save your son. You saved your son. Time for me to do the same. And so someone tells him that the jackals are like tormenting him or whatever. But actually, the jackal's leader is his son. There you go. And the quote is, one person says, so, I hear you're pretty good with an arrow. And Oliver says, don't believe everything you see on TV. And, yeah. And Oliver, he needs Oliver Queen, not the man in the mask. So yeah, that's the end for this video. So, alright guys, hope you guys liked this video. If you guys did, please leave a big like down below. And if you guys haven't already, please subscribe. Did I say something way too much? Like and. Or was it good? Leave a comment down below. Peace.